Hi there, and welcome to Let's Slow Down, a podcast for all of you who feel tired and stressed from this overwhelming world. Here we'll have fun, inspiring conversations about living life on our own terms and explore ways to ease the pace of our modern world, because life really is good when you're relaxed enough to be present for it. I'm your host, Anne-Marie Stolting, and I welcome you to this space where I hope to inspire you to slow down, because life is too short to let it go by in a blur. So take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Let's Slow Down podcast. How's everybody doing? I feel like I have been kind of tapped out and stressed out. So I don't know. I think it's at this point in the season, spring is trying to arrive. Some days it does better than others. We had some nice weather and then it got kind of cold and gloomy again. And I just feel like we're coming out of winter. And it's been a long haul. And I know that here in New Jersey, where I am, where I teach and where my kids go to school, we have spring break in 2 weeks. And I do think that it is very much needed at this point. I can't wait for it to get here. I think we're all just looking forward to relaxing a bit and taking a pause from the daily grind. I hope that you have some type of break coming up in your near future. I thought today I would just really go back to basics and talk about the benefits of slowing down, because personally, I feel like I need a little bit of a reminder and I want to get back to those principles and what's important. So, we live in a hustle culture. It's just the way of our world. So, a lot of these things that we talk about here on the podcast are very countercultural, and most people aren't doing them. Most people aren't living with these types of values. So it can be challenging. It really can be challenging and it can feel lonely and isolating. And I am trying to come up with ideas because I do want to make this more of a back and forth type of a community. So hopefully in the near future, I can start creating ways for us to have more of a back and forth. I do want to hear more from you and know what your struggles are in this area and what your wins are. And would love for all of us to be truly learning together. I feel like a lot of us, no matter how hard we try, we can sometimes end up feeling like we're burning the candle at both ends. We have a lot of commitments and obligations between work and family and home. Forget about our personal and self care. We want to try to keep those things up as well. They are important, but things can feel busy. They can feel overwhelming and hard to keep up with. And, I know this firsthand. I experienced it personally. And even though I have really made this a mission of mine to focus on slowing down and living more intentionally, life can catch up to us at times. So I recently created a short presentation for a friend of mine for her membership group, and we really were highlighting the benefits of slowing down. So I want to share them with you today because I know that I needed them. I needed to get back to this. And I hope that you will benefit from this as well. My mission here at the podcast is really to inspire you to harness the transformative power of slowing down and simplifying life so that you can find clarity and guidance from within to live with intention and purpose and pursue your authentic reason for being here so that you can feel fulfilled and live a life full of love and joy. I want you to feel at ease. I want you to feel comfortable, show up in a way that is sustainable. That's a huge part of this, finding a way to live on a day to day basis that's not going to wear you out and that truly allows you to tap into yourself, your gifts, your talents, feel and express that joy and love, and to grow and evolve in an organic, authentic way. Because if we aren't careful, and I know this happens to me, I catch myself, this was definitely happening to me quite a bit about a decade ago before I started embracing this. But we can end up just living in a really reactive state, reacting to everything that's around us and being thrown at us, not really being in the driver's seat of our own life and not living in a proactive way, which is how I would like to live and how I choose to live now. But again, if we're not intentional and if we don't keep this at the forefront of our minds, we can end up, just because there's so much out there in this world, we can end up being very reactive. So really getting back to ourselves, tapping into ourselves, our authentic self, getting to know who we are without all those messages from the outside, following our intuition. Our intuition, I talk about this a lot in my book, but our intuition is so powerful. We have so much power right here, right now within ourselves, but we can't always tap into it. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're too busy and we're being pulled in so many directions. We don't feel grounded and calm in our minds. We need to slow down enough that we can be who we really are, be who we're meant to be. And that is when the magic starts to happen. So, some of my favorite benefits of slowing down have been making room to breathe and space to think. And that goes hand in hand with feeling inner peace, feeling grounded, having less mental and physical clutter. So, we just have been wrapping up a decluttering series here on the show. And I still have a few more things I want to go into with that topic, but we'll pepper them in throughout the next couple of months. Just clearing our environment out of extra clutter and distractions can really help clear the mind, help you relax in your home, which can then mentally help you just feel so much more clear, identify what your values are, which are super important because those values are what we're going to use then to make decisions. There are guidelines. That's how we can set boundaries. And if we're feeling grounded and we're feeling relaxed and calm, then we can actually remember what our boundaries are and we can honor them, and we can live in a way that we are actively creating and curating as we go based on what we stand for and what matters to us. As my family and I have slowed down, we have found more margin on our calendar, and that's been a very intentional choice as well. Really taking a look at, especially the weekends, because that's where things fill up, taking a look at those weekends and making time to have breaks, have downtime, scheduling in things like do nothing. Okay. So that when that time slot arrives, you can do what it is that you need in that moment, whether it's sitting just with a cup of tea and relaxing, or maybe it's catching up on a book or a movie, or connecting with a friend or a family member who you haven't had a chance to talk with all week that you really are missing. So just having space on the calendar that's not spoken for so that you can choose to live the way you want to. We can become so overscheduled that we don't have any room to breathe like that. I think you can only live like that for so long. At least that's the case for me. So having that space to think, having that margin, all of that then in turn can help you create deeper connections in your life. We've learned on this show from so many of our guests that human connection is the number one indicator of happiness. So those deep, meaningful connections are incredibly vital to our well-being. So is better sleep. I'm going to be interviewing health coach Gina Roof this week about sleep. She just finished a whole sleep course and is going to share everything she has learned with us. So I cannot wait to have that conversation with her and share it with you. More on that soon. But sleep, as we know, is a game changer. It is not a luxury. It is not something, that we can just skip for a few days and catch up on later. We need to get regular rest, sleep, and we need to start prioritizing that more, I think, all of us, so that we can really be functioning at our best each day. All of these things create positive little ripples in our world. So those deeper connections, the better sleep, it's going to lead to improved health, physical and mental, which in turn helps you to show up better, be more productive at work and at home so that you have more time to do the things that you want to do. All of these things go hand in hand. As you clear the clutter, your home becomes easier to manage, which for me enables me to feel more present when I am at home and trying to relax with my family. It just helps me connect with them better because I don't feel like I'm distracted by all these things that need to be cleaned up. So again, it's just been a really positive ripple effect in my life, slowing down. And overall, at the end of the day, it has led me to find more meaning, which has led to more joy in my world. And, for those of you that are fairly new to the podcast, I am a wife and I'm a mom of 3 kids. I've got a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary student. I work part-time as a teacher. There's a lot going on in my world and my family's world. So being able to simplify things and carve out time to slow down and experience these benefits has been really a game changer for my family. And we have experienced so many positive things as a result. I am very passionate about this. I feel like this hustle culture that we live in is constantly just glorifying being busy and, really measuring our value based on our to dos and our accomplishments. And I just don't know how well that serves any of us. We aren't robots. We aren't made to be going all the time. And I think we forget that. And I think sometimes we feel guilty when we take that rest and we take that break and we want to just have that space and that room to breathe. So I really encourage you to consider how things are going in your world. Like I said, I feel like the last few weeks for me have just kind of caught up to me and I've just felt like it's been busy and I needed to take a little bit of an audit and just rethink some things and really highlight what the benefits of slowing down are and remind myself how important this is to me. And I thought that I would share it with you because maybe some of you are feeling the same way. Ultimately, something that I need to remind myself is that you can do it. I mean, there is no prescription here. Okay. It looks different for everybody. Go back and listen to some of the other episodes on the podcast. We've got over 100 at this point. Choose the ones that speak to you. If you need a little bit of inspiration, you can check out the Let's Slow Down book, which also has a lot more in it, goes a lot deeper. At the end of the day, if you're feeling pulled in too many directions, I just urge you to listen to that, honor your intuition, and know that you can do it. Okay. Slowing down is possible. You can make the choice to live differently. You have to stop letting that outside world dictate how you live and create your own way. And I know that you can do it. And I know that there are better days ahead if you choose to make this decision. Stop measuring your self worth based on how much you accomplish. Change the narrative, change it in your head, start to change it in your world. Remember that what is important to you is what you need to focus on. Bring more of that into your world and disregard the rest. That's why that decluttering piece, both mental and physical, is so important. Remove those extra distractions, focus on what matters, and start to define what your good life looks and feels like to you personally. Curate your own life. You deserve it. I really hope that you've been inspired to move at your own pace and slow down a bit if that's what you need right now. And I just want to thank you for listening today. And I look forward to sharing. We have a bunch of guests that are going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. So lots of interviews to share with you, lots of really interesting and just smart, wise people that have a lot to share. So I'm excited to be sharing those interviews with you in the coming weeks. So we'll see you then. Have a great week. I hope you've enjoyed our journey together. Please take a moment to rate and review the show. It really helps us grow and reach others looking to slow down too. Wishing you simplicity and ease in your world. And I'll see you back here next week.